couldn't form my thoughts, and when I opened my mouth, everything came out in a jumble. But I have to think about it, and the witch, isn't she a bit, well, batty? And the forest, I don't like camping. Celine is not batty, and it will be good for you, and don't argue, my mom said. It will be better for everyone. You will learn to control your magic. The town will stop having these random problems, and maybe you can help me get better. Isn't that what you always wanted? It is annoying to hear that the town will be better off without me, or that I lack control, but what made me pause and consider this is that my mother could finally be cured. After years and years of her horrible health that I indirectly caused, she could be healthy again. She could get back on her feet without feeling like she will faint. She could even go back to her flower shop. I could help her. Okay, was all I say, and swallowed a lump of frustration that formed in my throat. It was fair enough. Everyone would be better off that way. I might learn a thing or two, and Mom will finally have a chance to get better. It still stings. I can't help my twisting expression. They didn't even leave room for discussion. But I guess I have nothing better to do anyways. The next day I am to leave my home and head to the dark forest for an apprenticeship with the Witch of the Woods. So of course I don't get a good night's sleep. I never do when I know something big is happening the next day. It's a curse, I swear. We agreed that I will pack in the morning and go. As I was gathering my essentials in a tote bag, my dad was baking a pie with the boys. He said it would be a nice offering and show of gratitude for the witch. Celine, they called her. What I heard of her was that she was a crazy old bat who played with herbs and magical crystals. I heard she was grouchy, and some said she's temperamental. Another rumor was that the forest itself was like a labyrinth and that it's ephemeral. It doesn't always lead out into the field. This rumor was the one I least liked. When my bag was full, I stepped out of the room to find my dad packing the pie into a woven basket. My brothers fuss around him excitedly, not really understanding that I'm leaving for the whole summer. I hug both of them, and it confuses them, but they give me kisses nonetheless and hop around when I let them go. I go to say goodbye to my mom, and when I'm out, my dad walks with me out into our front yard, hands me the basket, and gives me a tight hug. Here is our ground telephone number, he said, handing me a paper. Cellular data might not work in the forest, but the witch has a ground phone. By the time you arrive, we will set up your grandma's old one. I'll call you as soon as I can, I reply. Don't be scared. If anything happens, we're close by. I nod. I brush away the thought of the rumors about the forest. I can handle myself, I know that. I also know the forest is generally safe. I'm not scared of Celine either. She's just a crazy old lady. She can't be faster than me in case I ever need to run. I snorted my own thoughts and hit the road. Soon I reached the field that separated our little town and the dark forest. I walked right across, not taking my eyes off the forest, glimpsing shadows here and there from between the trees. When I was at the edge of the forest, I couldn't help but notice the blueberries that grew beneath the towering trees. They did look juicy and delicious, but they also had a slight glow to them, and that was when I understood why my mom craved them so much. They almost looked irresistible, like candy you see in movies about candy and chocolate. Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, Hansel and Gretel. I hope this doesn't turn into my candy story that parents tell children to scare them. I look away from the tempting berries and watch the darkness beyond the first tree trunk. It is not as scary, I realize. It's almost calming, quiet and grounding, alive even. I step into the shadows and they engulf me like a blanket. I look behind one last time. The field and beyond it, the town, feel like part of another lifetime now, like I stepped into a portal that led into a fantasy world. I follow a path deeper into the forest. I don't know where I'm going exactly, so I'm following the most walked upon route. I start hearing the sounds of the forest, trees rustling in the breeze, birds chirping all above me, small animals scuttling around. I think I saw a squirrel run up a branch. I thought I will feel alone the deeper I went into the forest, but it turned out to be quite the opposite. The deeper I ventured, the more sentient the forest felt around me. Its presence pressed insistently, watching me, evaluating me. I suddenly felt like I should be on my best behavior or else it wouldn't accept me. I frown at my own thoughts and snap out of it. It's just a bunch of trees. It couldn't judge me. What a ridiculous thought. I walked until the path widened and turned into something like a small natural plaza. The crisp dewy grass homed a variety of small colorful flowers and looked so luscious in the sun rays that stole in from between the foliage. I smiled. Couldn't help it. The whole scene was so relaxing. I let my eyes wander until my attention snagged on something a few feet away. A patch of vibrant mushrooms was growing at the base of a towering oak. Sitting in the middle of nothing but shadows, the mushrooms were the main attraction. They were obviously teeming with ancient magic, definitely stronger than that of the blueberries I passed. With a delightful squeal, I kneeled down to examine them. They had a gentle glow to them and their surface looked like colorful marble. Eating one of these would probably gain me a magical power or something. I survived the berries, didn't I? I stared at them, marveling at their hues and intricate patterns. But just as I was about to poke the little shrooms, a rustling interrupted me. I froze. I was not alone, this time for real. Something was looming above me. I swallow and take a small step back, careful not to make any sudden movements. I look up and find two large orange eyes staring at me from between the foliage. With a start, I raise myself and hide the stick behind my back. The dark feathered silhouette shifted in its position, and I recognized the bird to be a great horned owl. It glared at me as if I was about to poke its favorite shrooms. I stepped back and dropped the twig from earlier. The owl ruffled its feathers and dropped its judgmental gaze. I didn't know what the next thing to do was. I was in a forest. I could just carry on walking, or I could stay and continue having this staring match with a wild creature. The owl hooted and I jumped. My thoughts instantly flushed down the drain. The owl leaned forward towards me and hooted again, and then it looked behind me. I followed the bird's gaze. There was nothing at first, which gave me the creeps. I knew there was something if it caught the owl's attention. My poor eyesight was just not enough to see it. But then, as if melting away from the shadows themselves, a woman stepped into the clearing. Her dark green cloak billowed in the breeze, blending perfectly with her surroundings. She had long silver hair flowing down her back like a waterfall, and her eyes sparkled with both mischief and ancient wisdom. She wasn't as old as I expected her to be. I'd say she was around 50 maybe. I wouldn't touch those. They emit a deadly gas that will have you singing till you lose your voice, she said. Her voice was soft yet commanding. You must be Blue, daughter of the wilds. You're here for the apprenticeship I offered 18 years ago. I'm stunned, and the nod I give her is rushed and disoriented. They called this woman an old bat back in town. They said she was crazy, and I'm not sure if they were wrong. Very good. I'm Celine. I'm the witch of the woods, and the keeper of its secrets. And whether you do really see me as an old bat or not, I will be your mentor, and you will do as I say. Agreed? My heart skipped a beat at the announcement. Did she just read my mind? She just looked so ethereal, so out of this world. She's wearing a timeless dress and boots, and she has a cape on. She doesn't look like she belongs in the 21st century. Blue? Hearing my name pulls me out of my thoughts again. I nod absently. Yes, agreed, I reply. Celine gave me a welcoming smile that transformed her features drastically. It gave her a human quality, and I released the breath I was holding. I step closer to her and present her with the pie basket. From my family, I stammer. For me? Thank you, she grinned. She took the basket and gestured to the owl before heading to the path between the trees. The owl hooted behind me and flew. I ducked as it flew over me and landed on Celine's shoulders. Celine laughed at my reaction. Oh, don't mind Archimedes. Her voice got farther and farther away. He has a bit of a dramatic flair. Her voice was now an echo, and it was all I could do to keep up with the witch before I lost her to the shadows of the woods.